Hey, good morning, folks. This is Jabril for the SPX Ninja. Welcome to Thursday, April the 12th. And today is a pretty important day for the S&P 500. And as we take a look at the S&P 500 futures chart, we can try to figure out what may occur. Again, these are forecasts which should not be used for trading. Trading should be done via your trading setups. Now, looking at S&P 500, we have been trying to figure out how or when this correction will end. So there was one possibility that wave 4 had ended here and that we had started a wave, an impulsive wave up from there. So we had a pretty strong first wave and then a pull back into a second wave, and then I was hoping that this would be the beginning of a third wave. However, the price action has been too slow to break this trend line here for me to assume that this is a wave 3. Wave 4s are known to be very, very difficult and choppy, and all the bad things you can think of in trading action. So it would probably be smarter to assume that it's still doing some sort of correction that's going to last a little bit longer. Now, I had looked at the length of the previous wave 2, which the length of this wave 4 should be symmetrical to, and it was coming in to maybe end around here or something. So we can probably expect some more sideways movement. If we look at the current price action, after this breakup, we did have a 78% pullback, which is not usual in an impulsive wave. You shouldn't have that big of a pullback anyway, which is the first indication that the correction still continues. And then we had, 78% or more going back up. So these are very sideways waves. Now we are at the top of this potential triangle. And if this pattern continues, then we should go sideways as it contracts, and we should get a movement up from there to test this bigger triangle that's going on. So 27, this area here is somewhere between 2710 to 2750, and as the time goes on is where you can decide where it's going to hit. So I was expecting it to break out now and then eventually hit 2740 to 2750 area. If that doesn't happen, if we get rejection again today, then we're going back to C, and then most likely a D and an E before it breaks out. This is actually now my preferred scenario because, again, the price action has seemed corrective rather than impulsive. And of course, that can change if we get strong breakout above this. So I drew this line here around 2675, which is basically a midpoint line of this wave 4 so far. The price action has been under, then it came back and tagged it. Well, it tried to come under, then it tagged it, went below a little bit, came above. So you can see that this area, I should say, not just the line, but more likely an area, has been rather good support previously, and now is acting as resistance. So you can see that it's trying to break above this and has not been able to. So our trigger to start going long we had been trying to do that while we were here, and that was not a good idea since we want to wait for the resistance to give way first. So going above 2675-ish to 2680-ish would be a place where we can look for a move up. If rejection occurs, we can expect this downward movement, and then we can look for a break above. However, a movement to the downside would only occur if there's a break of this, 2570, let's say, area. So we can assume that we are in this triangle correction, and we'll test the bigger triangle that we're inside eventually before we come back down. So that is my thought right now. I know it's complex, but that was what wave 4s are. They are complex. So if you're a long-term trader, you are safe going long with 25, 50, 60-ish area as your warning sign. And if you are, a short-term trader, then probably try to play a rejection here today, with maybe a stop above 2672-ish area. And if it does move down, it should go all the way down to here, which is around 2600. But that's a nice move for the risk. And if it eventually breaks above this 2675-ish line, then expect the move to 2740 that we've been looking for. All right, so that is the idea. I know it's complicated, but again, this is a wave 4 and that's what they do. So let's just see how it plays out. I'll see you guys in the chatting room. Take care.